Give your definition of beauty for us, Zach. I don't have to think. Beauty is longing. Give us an example of something that irritates your condition. The loftiness of his initial inquisition should have drawn my immediate suspicion. My doctor and his panel of medical professionals sat across from my uneasy submission. They were all scribbling and peering at me, and it was all really awkward. Okay, so last week I was watching this Discovery Channel show about flamingos. Pencils halted, eyebrows rose. Flamingos? Yeah, flamingos. And that set it off. Have you ever just looked at a flamingo, doctor? Of course I have, Zach. No, I mean really looked at it. There's this perfect S shape in their neck, and just the way they peck with their right-angle beak at the ground for food. Their legs look weak, but they can stand on just one for 2 to 4 hours. Please describe for us the nature of your reaction. Well, I can try, but I've tried before, and it seems like this is more of something you have to experience on your own. Remember, Zach, we've talked about this. Any emotion can be explained, can be shown. Now, please try again for these gentlemen here with us today. I closed my eyes and began, as their pencils scribbled away. Well, doctor, it's like homesickness, but the worst case you've ever seen. It started with a sunset on the beach. I thought it was a one-time thing, that I could never reach that peak of saturated, swelling splendor ever again as I spied on something beautiful. Then I held an infant, and she looked into my eyes, and it happened again, which led me to realize this was here to stay. I couldn't chase it, and I couldn't run away. I couldn't talk about it or shut my mouth. I'm marooned on this beach. Hear the waves, feel the spray, look far out across the bay of reality, and you can just see the mirage on the horizon, doctor, as all the beauties in this world parade before us, blind to our notice or approval. And I don't want to watch anymore, doctor. All along knowing I'll one day pass into this reflection, but for now must be content with my distant inspection, frantic and fleeting. I sip a glass of tea in my backyard hammock and look up at the tree branches swaying, the squirrels playing, and a breeze tussles my face. And in some deep natural way I can see in the space between it all and inside it all these golden rivers of beauty that infuse everything, saturate the air so it fills my lungs, the same golden downpour dancing on the tongues of the innumerable inanimate worshippers that surround me. And a fist grips my heart as the worst knowledge sets in. This isn't here for me. Even though it perfectly fits the hole in my heart, it disregards me completely. I'm a spectator. I may go when I want, I may stay if I can. I'm in the valley, glimpsing tiny fireworks on the mountain's peak, hearing the faintest echoes of the most vibrant, intricate strains of music sneak through a keyhole. In my heart, all I seek is the loneliest look at this unnatural leak of another world into mine. And when I'm unexpectedly granted this feeble wish, every muscle in my body is seized with the power. I fall on my knees, begging for more and for it to stop. In the corner, I cower before the simple majesty of a cricket making music with its legs. Reunited friends laughing so hard they cry. The way fingers of lightning stab down through the sky. Scientists not really understanding why flamingos stand on one leg. Doctor, I'm ravaged with this overwhelming case of homesickness. I crumple in bed for days, hunger and thirst drowned out by longing. The simplest beauties reminding my heart, impaling my capacity for any contentment here. And I'm left with white knuckles, inhaling with every breath the faintest scent of the most beautiful flower. One that doesn't grow here and never will. Doctor, all this beauty comes from where I'm from, where I belong. All these ancient melodies we continue to sing are just variations on the one he's tuned like a music box into our brain. And I've tried to learn to live this longing that I can't explain, but it's like how you betray yourself at the mention of your lover's name. Every time I recognize the scrawling signature of beauty, my heart leaps at the glimpse of my lover's name. I'm an inconsolable exile, doctor. Imagine drinking from the source of all the streams we've been drinking timidly from our whole lives, doctor. Echoes of virtues and joys will become the real song, drowning our cacophony of doubts and reservations. But I'm still stuck behind these rebel lines, my soul a prisoner of war, constantly longing to scramble over these muddy barbed wire trenches to sprint back to where I've never been before. To sing my subtle harmony in his celestial score. To sing my subtle harmony in his celestial score. When I opened my eyes again, the scribbling had stopped and the room was still. I heard a sniff and saw several glassy eyes, and with a rush I realized this disease within them had finally awakened. My horrible homesickness had finally been caught. It's becoming contagious. It's worse than we thought. Get him out of here. We need to operate now. My doctor's shout shocked the room out of the pleasant, dragging us all back into the present, and the next part was sort of a blur. I was strapped to a stretcher, rolling down a white hallway and into a bright room, and I wasn't sure where we were. My doctor's voice again. I still don't think it's too late for the cure. Nurse, bring me a dictionary. Needles in my arms. Here's some drugs for the pain. But doctor, don't save me, I shouted. Leave me alone. I want to die. The room slowed. You can't die of homesickness, Zach. But I have to. I want to. You can't die of homesickness. But doctor, that's the only cure. Their mountain range of resolve towered, unflinching before my tsunami of desperation, and I could tell that in this conversation, this would be the only true thing they said. I dropped my head, resigned. Nurse, where's that dictionary? Also, we're gonna need high school and college for this one. This case is so bad I'm almost impressed. As he spoke, he was cutting a hole in my chest, wrenching back my ribs and flipping through a science textbook. His heart's far too exposed, he mumbled, scanning a page. We need to engage in some major repression. Let's build him a cage of reality for this poor heart's protection. So they slipped in wavelengths and atmospheric angles and air particle reflection, and spectacular sunsets were suddenly science, not beauty. Then they pumped in a dark, prideful superiority and skepticism towards sincerity, so without a joke ever actually being made, serious things were now beneath me. My solemnity was parody. They rewired my reactions, so my response was no longer a gasp of awe or a longing sigh, but to glance around quickly and mold my face after those of the people standing nearby. So addiction to approval trumped my old inclination to honesty. And still my doctor worked frantically, shouting, let's tear out all that poetry, that dancing and those fairy tales, and fill that space with disdain for childishness, a love of nice cars and lobster tails. Put some textbooks here, and try to generate a fear of standing out in any way, and nurse, bring me a dictionary. The holes inside of me were filling up with diplomas and day jobs, with contempt and complacency, with small concerns and small dreams, with a fear of nature and a fear of love. The doctor held the awaited dictionary aloft and ceremoniously tore out a page. As he wrapped it like a veil around my heart, I felt the new definition sinking into me. Beautiful. Adjective. An unscientific, unverifiable, perception-based term used to describe the possession of characteristics or qualities that have been arbitrarily deemed favorable or satisfactory. When the doctors were finished, I politely thanked them and left. I got a job I hate, and I don't laugh much for real anymore. I'm sinking. I've spent the rest of my life since that day desperately trying to keep the holes full with things that don't quite fit. I've tried video games, political activism, the internet, alcohol, modern art, education, sex, traveling, appearances, making money, spending money, partying, exercise, being popular, sports, clothes, church. Still I am sinking, drowning in the crystal sea that my altered eyes leave me thinking is quicksand. And as I flail underwater, I raise my eyes to the surface where I can still make out the twin, nail-pierced soles of two travel-worn feet standing firm, the muffled lamentation, "O ye of little vision." And sometimes I dream of birds singing pleadingly, and after a confusing, habitually suppressed burst of homesickness, I wonder vaguely in the back of my head who taught them to sing in the first place. And sometimes I dream that there's another doctor out there who can take all this garbage out of the holes inside of me and let me breathe in that golden light once again, just for a little while. And I wake up laughing and sobbing just like I used to. And the undeniable beauty of my invincible homesickness itself leaves me longing again, longing to sing my subtle harmony in his celestial score. To sing my subtle harmony in his celestial score.